Yo, what up guys, I'm Sammy and welcome back to the Soul Drop, and today we're going to be doing a tier list, but we're going to be taking shoes, or pretty much all the shoes. I just went online and found a whole bunch of shoes, and I'm going to do a tier list on how good the shoe is for a guard, right? So if you're a guard, you probably want like a lighter shoe, something a little bit more minimal with pretty good support like lateral containment, really good traction, low to the ground cushion, and yeah, that's pretty much it. And as a guard, of course, that's pretty important. So I have 5 tiers, right? So we have S tier, which is this shoe is absolutely amazing for guards. If you're a guard, you should definitely get this shoe. A is this shoe is really, really nice, but there's one thing or one or two things that could be a little bit better. B is a couple more things, right? And then C is this shoe's not the best. And then F, of course, is this is a terrible shoe for a guard, right? So yeah, I have a lot of shoes on this list, so I'm gonna try to get through it pretty quickly. But of course, let's get it started off with the AC11 V2, and I would say that's an S tier because okay. So the traction is top tier, absolutely amazing traction. Cushion also is really, really good. You have good court feel. You have that soft mesh strobel board, and also that full length boom, which is super soft, comfortable, bouncy, and all that. Overall lightweight shoe, very minimal upper. So it's very nice. It's just traction is a little inconsistent on like hard stops, right? So it can slide out a little bit, but for the most part, it's a really, really good shoe if you're a guard. Same thing with the Wow 10. You know, the boom cushion is super bouncy in the Wow 10. It's amazing. You have awesome traction. Support's really good, but also the shoe is super supportive and also very minimal and lightweight. The only thing that sucks is that the shoe is super expensive, right? But other than that, it's an absolutely amazing performer. Not a whole lot of flaws with either of these shoes, right? The Wow 10 especially, I guess, besides the price. And same thing with the 808-3 and also the 808-3 Ultra. Maybe I'll put the 808-3 Ultra in A tier because the cushion isn't the best, right? I guess if you are a guard, it doesn't really matter as much for impact protection maybe, but if you want impact protection or really good impact protection, it's not the best because the boom is super soft, right? And then your foot's gonna bottom it out. It's gonna hurt a little bit on harder impacts, but other than that, it's an amazing shoe for the 808-3 and the 808-3 Ultra, both of them, right? Because the traction is top tier, cushion is super low to the ground, very good court feel, amazing support, thin uppers. So they're both really, really nice performers. They basically perform like a Kobe 8, Kobe 9, Kobe 11, right? Next, of course, we got the Sun Flash, and I'll give it an easy S tier, maybe A plus, because the only thing about that shoe is that it's a little bit heavy, right? It's heavier than most all the other shoes on this list. Or so far on this list at least. It's like I think like 13.5 ounces, so it's not super heavy though. But everything else like super responsive, traction is absolutely amazing. Cushion, also you have boom pods, so it's not as nice for the cushion as the other shoes on this list for the wave weight, but it's still nice. And then the upper is very supportive and thin, right? So it's still a, maybe I'll drag it down a little bit to A, but it's like in between A and S because the weight isn't a huge deal, right? But I still don't think it's as good as like the Wow 10 or the 808-3. So there is the Son of Flash, absolutely amazing shoe. Next, we got the Curry 11. I've been playing that. It plays exactly like every other flow shoe. So same thing with the Curry 2 Low. Same thing with the Curry. Well, what else is there? Curry 8, Curry 9, Curry 10, Curry 4 Flowtro, Curry 1 Flowtro. You know, yeah, it's amazing traction. Low to the ground cushion, but the cushion kind of sucks. It's not great for like impact protection. Your feet are gonna hurt a little bit. Upper super minimal, very, very lightweight shoe though. So of course, if you don't really care about cushion, then this could be an S tier, but for me, I want a little bit more cushion from the Currys, or at least the Flow cushion, so that's why I'm putting in A tier. And also the new Flow Future X3 that just came out, same thing, right? So anyways, there's that. Next, we got the Harden Volume 7, which is, I'd say it's a solid A tier because I love everything about that shoe besides the weight. This is the heaviest shoe on this like entire list, I believe, right? One of them at least. So it's like 15 point something ounces. It's just pretty heavy. It's pretty bulky feeling. However, it's a really responsive shoe. The traction is really good. Also, one of the best shoes for court feel. If you want something that's really low to the ground, the Harden Volume 7 is an amazing, amazing option. And also a really good impact protection. Upper is super cozy, very, very comfortable with that inner booty, right? It feels like you have a sock on almost, and support is awesome as well. So if you don't mind the weight and also kind of like the bulk, then it's a really, really nice shoe, right? But if you want something a lot more minimal, a lot more lightweight, then obviously it's not a great option. But for me, it wasn't a huge deal, like I said, because it's a responsive shoe, so I really like playing the Hardens. The Trae Young 3, I give it a solid C because I don't really like playing in the Trae 3 that much, right? Traction, I would say, is pretty good. It's not top tier, but it's pretty good. The cushion is really nice, but I hate how the midsole just protrudes out and feels so bulky and heavy. And it's just so much larger than all the other shoes that I have that it feels not nice when I'm playing it, you know? So because of that, I'll give it a solid C, maybe a B, right? It's not terrible, but I don't really like playing in it that much. And comparing it to all the other shoes, especially on like the A, S tier, I would much rather play in all these other shoes, right? A Trae, oh no, this is the BYW Select. I give it a solid A. Same thing as a Harden Volume 7. It is a little bit heavier, a little bit bulkier. Obviously not as heavy and bulky as a Harden's, but still on the heavier, bulkier side of things, especially comparing to like the Wild 10, you know? But the traction is still really, really nice. The cushion's really nice as well with the boost and light strike. The upper with the mesh, it's lightweight, it's very, very supportive shoe. So yeah, the BYW Select is a great option. Dame 8, I would say, is a B, because I don't know what it is with Adidas, but they don't like making lightweight minimal shoes. This is a super bulky, and with the extended play, the EXTPLY, it's a lot heavier than the regular Dame 8. So yeah, it's a lot heavier, it's a lot bulkier. So because of that, it's a little bit lower on the list, but the traction's still pretty nice. The cushion with the Bounce Pro, I believe it was, is super soft also. So if you don't like that, like if you want a responsive cushion, that's also not a great option. So it's borderline B or C for the Dame extended play for me. So yeah, there's that. Next, we got the Trae Unlimited. I would say a solid A tier. It's really, really nice. So the traction is really good, solid. Cushion also with the full length bounce is really nice. Good core feel, but it's also soft and bouncy. Upper with the mesh is minimal, actually. The midsole is a little bulky, a little protruding out, you know, bubbly and stuff, but it's not terrible like the Trae Youngs, right? Oh, sorry, the Trae 3. They're both Trae shoes. So solid, and it's also a cheap shoe. So I think it's like $90. So there's that. Next we got the Player 1. That's easily an S tier. Same thing with the Player 1 Plus. Amazing traction. It's lightweight and very minimal upper, and also overall shoe. The cushion also is super nice with the drop in. Great step in comfort. Great court feel. Overall impact protection is adequate. So yeah, both of these shoes, they play exactly pretty much like the Kobe 9 and the Kobe 11, right? So amazing options. And again, if you guys do want to cop any of these shoes, I'll try to leave in the affiliate link in the description box. It does help me out if you guys buy from the links. They are affiliate links. I do get commissions. But anyways, if you want to help me out, thanks if you do buy it, right? Next, we got the Sabrina 1. I'll give it a solid A tier. Super duper, maybe borderline A plus S tier. Traction is super duper solid. Cushion I really like as well with the full length React and the 4-foot zoom unit. And also the upper is very, very minimal, right? But I would say it's not the best for support, you know? So if you need a lot of support, especially if you're a bigger dude doing louder movements, like if you're super shifty and you're big, it's not the best option. It's probably still gonna be adequate, but not the best, right? So that's why I'm putting in A tier. But again, if you're lighter like me, it's not a huge deal, right? Next, we got the KD16. I give it a solid A tier as well. Traction is super duper nice, but it's not top tier there. It's not like as hard of a stop as like, you know, the AC11, the 808-3, the Curry 11. So it's a little bit lower on the list. Also, the cushion super duper nice, but the overall shoe is on the heavier, a little bit more stiffer feeling, you know, so that's why it's a little bit lower on the list, but it's still a really, really nice performer. LeBron 21 easy S tier. Isn't that weird for a guard, right? The traction is top tier. It does slide out a little bit. It's a little inconsistent, but if you keep up with your wipes, you're good to go. The cushion is also one of my favorite cushioning setups on this entire list, with like the Wild 10 and like the Zion 3 and stuff like that, but still amazing cushion. Upper is also super minimal, and support's great. So easy S tier. Same thing with the next gens, right? I wonder if they're gonna release a next gen too. Hopefully they do, and hopefully it's just as nice as the original next gen, but still super duper nice. Performs very similarly to the LeBron 20 and 21. Tatum 1, easy A tier. Same thing as the Sabrina 1. It's not as supportive, right? And I would say it's a little bit less supportive than the Sabrina 1. So that's why it's on this list. Also, it does pick up a little bit more dust, so maybe I'll put it in B B plus, A minus. You know what I mean? It's still a nice shoe, and I love how lightweight it is. I love the cushion. I love how low to the ground it is, but support and also the performance of the traction on dust wasn't the best. So there's that. Luca 2, easy, like B, C tier. The cushion is super duper not nice, especially comparing to everything else on this list. The traction also was solid, but not amazing. The upper is super duper stiff, so I also didn't really like that. It's not a super smooth feeling shoe. So maybe I'll stick it in C, right? GT Hustle 2, I'd give it a solid A. Amazing shoe. It's a super smooth feeling shoe. I love the full length zoom stroll. The traction is solid. It's not top tier, but it's a pretty solid bite. I would say it's one of the worst tractions on like the A tier. So it's not amazing, but it gets the job done, right? And the very low to the ground cushion. Upper is very minimal. So yeah, A tier. It sucks that it's so expensive though, especially for the material quality. But performance-wise, I give it an A tier for guards, right? Jaw 1, easy S tier. Support's great. Traction's top tier. Cushion, I love the cushion. It's like a great blend of everything. Good court feel, good impact protection, good responsiveness, good bounce in the forefoot, good compression in the heel. Upper is super supportive, but also minimal at the same time. So Jaw 1 is absolutely amazing. The Giannis Immortality 3, amazing shoe. I gave it a solid A tier because the cushion is super lacking, right? But everything else is very nice. Like traction is very solid, cushion is super low to the ground, and the upper is very minimal and a very lightweight shoe as well. So that's a great option if you're a guard. Jordan 38, I also give it an A tier as well. Now, the traction is really good, but it's not the best performer on dust. So that sucks, but the full length zoom stroll is very nice. The upper is overall pretty minimal, so that's why I'm putting it in A tier, right? And it's also a super expensive shoe. Zion 3 Easy S tier. I've been playing in it. I'm still reviewing it, but right now I absolutely love it. The traction is really nice. I'm not really having any issues with dust right now, so I really like it so far. And then the cushion is one of my favorites, like with the drop in, right? Amazing. The upper is super minimal, but also is a very supportive shoe. So yeah, Zion 3 is amazing. The GT Cut 3 is not nice. I don't like playing that shoe. I feel like a lot of people disagree with me on that, which is fine, but I don't like it. Cushion is very high up off the ground. It's a little too bouncy as well. Traction is not great. And the upper is okay though. So that's why I'm putting in like B, maybe C, actually maybe C, right? So there's that. LeBron Win is A. Very nice shoe right now. I'm playing in it. It's super cheap. It's like, oh no, it's not super cheap. It's like 110. They increased the price, but it's still like a budget price, right? Budget shoe. Traction's really nice. Traction's really good. Cushion's also very responsive. It is lacking in the cushion department, however, especially with the Air Max. But the upper is very minimal and also a pretty supportive shoe as well. Not the most supportive, but it's adequate for me. So I've been enjoying playing it. It's really nice. Cosmic Unity 3F, terrible. It sucks. Super clunky, boot-like. Traction's not great. The drop-in midsole is trash. I forgot this shoe had drop-in midsole, but it has a drop-in midsole. So yeah, same thing with, I give it as the GT Cut, it's GT Jump 2, sorry, a C. I mean, it's heavier, it's a little bit bulkier. The cushion is a lot, right? So if you're looking for something responsive, it's not the best option, but I feel like you could still make it work. But compared to everything else on this list, especially for a guard, I give it a solid C. Same thing with the MB3, so I give it like a B because this shoe is freaking heavy. It's very heavy. It's also a super stiff feeling shoe, very rigid feeling shoe. And if you want support, if you're a guard, I guess, then it's a great option. But because of the weight, I don't really like playing in the shoe as much, right? So the traction's pretty solid. The cushion is nice as well, but it is high up off the ground too. So that's why I'm putting it in B, maybe even borderline C tier, right? So B minus C plus. So there's that. The All Pro Nitro is an easy S tier. Absolutely amazing shoe. This is a great performer. Traction is top tier. Cushion is great. Super supportive. Very minimal feeling as well. So one of Puma's best shoes, which is they only have 2 shoes. But anyways, next we got the two-way V4, which is it's a really nice shoe. The cushion actually I really like, but it's a little bit high up off the ground, so it's not the best for court feel. But the traction is very solid. The upper is super minimal with the mesh. So yeah, solid A tier. KT9 is a solid S tier right now for me. I really like playing it. It does pick up a good amount of dust though, right? But if I keep up with my whites, it's a really nice bite. The cushion's super low to the ground, but also the step-in comfort's great. The upper is very supportive. supportive, but while still being pretty minimal. So the KT9 is a solid S tier. Same thing with the AR1, super supportive shoe. It is a little bit more on the rigid side of things comparing it to, like, I don't know, like the 808 3, the Player 1 Plus, the Jaw 1, the Zion 3, right? But it's a super duper supportive shoe while being very responsive. It has one of the best tractions on this list, the AR1. So yeah, that's easy S tier. The AG4 also is easy S tier. Absolutely amazing shoe. Traction's amazing. The cushion with that soft mesh strobe board, stepping comfort's great, but also you get nice compression and bounce. Super supportive shoe, but also the upper is very minimal, right? They add support where you need support, and then they don't add support where you don't need support, where it's a very thin and supportive material. So AG4 for $100 is absolutely amazing. Last but not least, we got the Shockwave 5, which is also an S tier. That's a Kyrie's shoe. Sneak peek, I got Kyrie's shoe as well. This is the Shockwave 5 Pro. This is the actual shoe he's playing in. The regular Shockwave 5, I don't think I've seen him playing. He's been playing in the Pro a lot. So that video will be coming soon. But the regular Shockwave 5 is still really, really nice, right? Amazing traction, cushion super low to the ground. Amazing step and comfort still, right? And the upper is super minimal, support's great. So yeah, there's a lot of great shoes. And if you want a really amazing shoe, then get any of these shoes in S tier and you should be good to go if you are a guard. And yeah, I'm glad because there's a lot of amazing shoes that are coming out right now. So anyways, that about concludes this list. Again, this is just my list, and this is my tier list for shoes that I think would be very good for guards, right? So if you disagree with the list, just tell us what your list would be down in the comment section below. Again, if you guys do want to copy any of these shoes, I try to leave the affiliate link in the description box. But that's it. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.